In spite of the incredible and biologically astonishing nature of the sense of sight, individuals blessed with exceptional vision often fail to appreciate its significance fully. It is only when we attempt to imagine the experience of losing this ability and being enveloped in a bewildering realm of absolute darkness that the true terror of such a predicament becomes evident. Astonishingly, millions of people confront this challenge each day. For those who possess the gift of healthy eyesight, comprehending the struggles faced by blind individuals in carrying out even the simplest of tasks proves to be an elusive endeavor. To bridge this understanding gap, a resident of London embarked on a uniquely creative journey to illuminate the difficulties faced by the visually impaired. Residing in the coastal town of Devon, England, Oliver Gibbons frequently embarked on walks through the bustling market area accompanied by his faithful canine companion, Sydney. Sydney was more than just a loyal pet. She was Oliver's lifeline. You see, Oliver was visually impaired and Sydney functioned as his guiding light in navigating a world he could not perceive. In the lives of the visually impaired, physical activity is often limited due to the hesitancy to venture into unfamiliar surroundings. Yet, embracing the world around them is of paramount importance. Oliver made a conscious effort to take regular walks, an activity that held both practical and emotional significance. However, one fateful afternoon, he confronted an unfortunate dilemma that cast a shadow over his routine. During their customary strolls through downtown Devon, Oliver and Sydney would often pause at a local eatery or coffee house before heading home. The town's establishments typically welcomed dogs accompanying their owners, so Oliver anticipated no different from the local coffee chain, Cafe Nero. However, when he kindly requested a bowl of water for Sydney, his request was met with refusal. The overwhelming sense of disrespect and embarrassment compelled Oliver to promptly leave the establishment. Back at home, he recounted the distressing incident to his close friend, Helen Fox. Helen was not only a pillar of support in Oliver's daily life, but also an advocate for his rights. Learning of Cafe Nero's treatment of her friend, Helen's ire was ignited. She decided to take matters into her own hands. Confronting the cafe's manager, Helen expressed her deep-seated disgust with the establishment's stance. While the manager did comprehend her frustration, they cited health regulations as the reason for not providing dog bowls in the restaurant. Unsatisfied with this explanation, Helen turned to social media to vent her outrage. Eventually, her message reached the attention of the RSPCA, Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, an organization perfectly aligned with Helen's cause. The RSPCA penned a poignant letter expressing their concern over the incident. It is deeply troubling to hear that a coffee shop denied drinking water to a service dog accompanying a customer who is visually impaired. We expect all businesses to extend kindness and compassion to animals, particularly those that serve as service animals. Cafe Nero escaped legal action from Oliver, which he could have rightfully pursued. This unfortunate occurrence was not isolated. Similar instances went unnoticed within the visually impaired community. However, one individual was determined to change this status quo. Enter Amit Patel, a 37-year-old Londoner who had once been a doctor until he lost his sight due to a degenerative disease in 2012. Like Oliver, Amit relied on a trusty canine companion named Kenka to navigate the labyrinthine London subways on a daily basis. Despite Keika's expertise, their journeys were often marred by challenges. Recognizing the ignorance surrounding the daily ordeals of himself and Oliver, Amit devised a brilliant strategy. Armed with a GoPro camera and with his wife's assistance, he affixed it to Keika's back. This initiative would not only provide Amit with a platform to showcase the struggles of the visually impaired, but also aspire to cultivate greater empathy and compassion. As expected, the camera captured footage of people brushing past Amit without regard for his safety, some even displaying rudeness toward Keika. Yet there was a heart-rending moment that moved Amit to tears. Upon entering a crowded subway car, not a single passenger offered their seat to him, forcing Amit to grasp for support. Keika, too, was compelled to occupy an inconvenient space due to the lack of consideration from fellow commuters. The experience was nothing short of a profound revelation. Fortuitously, Amit reached his home unharmed. Sharing the captured footage on YouTube, his expectations were confirmed as people reacted with distress to the scenes depicted. His aspiration was that this experiment would cultivate a greater sense of patience and inclusivity not only for himself, but also for individuals facing similar challenges. Service dogs perform remarkable feats in aiding the visually impaired, enabling them to navigate their days with reduced fear of accidents. However, a remarkable case involving Daniel Kish, a blind individual, showcases a unique approach that freed him from relying on a guide dog. Despite grappling with adversity from an early age, Daniel Kish triumphed over substantial obstacles, catalyzed a scientific breakthrough, and became a beacon of inspiration for countless individuals due to his unwavering optimism. Tragedy struck Daniel Kish as an infant when he was afflicted by retinoblastoma, a form of cancer targeting the cochlea. Before he celebrated his first birthday, both his eyes had to be surgically removed to save his life, rendering him completely blind. Choosing not to opt for sunglasses, he received prosthetic eyes to deflect stares from strangers. Although these prosthetics didn't grant him sight, he ingeniously discovered a workaround. In the aftermath of one of his surgeries, Daniel awoke in the intensive care nursery and, to everyone's astonishment, maneuvered his way through the hospital's corridors unaided, avoiding collisions with remarkable precision. As a toddler, he displayed even more remarkable feats, such as opening his window and venturing into the yard during the night. He pushed boundaries further, trespassing on a neighbor's properties with an audacity that left his parents astounded. The mystery of Daniel's remarkable abilities came to light as observers noticed his distinctive technique. He emitted a series of continuous clicking sounds using his tongue while moving, creating echoes in his mouth and the environment. These echoes reverberated off nearby objects and walls, akin to the sonar employed by bats. Echolocation, an unusual trait in humans due to the dominance of sight and hearing, became an extraordinary asset for Daniel in the absence of visual perception. Daniel was characterized by his preference for solitude combined with his courageous and adventurous spirit. Not only did he excel at self-defense, fending off bullies during his youth, but his development of echolocation skills and his alignment with the personality traits of the fictional character Bruce Wayne earned him the moniker Batman. Over time, as he honed his echolocation ability, Daniel's independence grew exponentially. He opted not to rely on a guide dog or cane, attending regular school, strolling about, and even mastering the art of biking through practice along a wall. Nonetheless, overconfidence led him to crash into trash cans and collide with a metal pole. Despite these setbacks, Daniel remained undeterred and resilient. His educational journey yielded considerable success. In high school, he garnered accolades as best brain and most likely to succeed. His pursuit of knowledge continued into college, culminating in a degree in psychology and special education from the University of California. As Daniel matured, his affinity for exploration flourished, driven by his heightened senses. He developed a profound appreciation for scents and sounds, particularly those found in nature, and embraced the art of hiking. This love for solitude prompted him to acquire a cabin nestled deep within the California woods in 2003, allowing him to immerse himself in the forest's beauty. However, this solitary haven eventually met a tragic end when a fire, sparked by unsafe materials used in the cabin's chimney, reduced his cherished cabin to ashes. Daniel Kish's indomitable spirit appears almost impervious to adversity. Despite the heart-wrenching loss of his cherished cabin, his resilience shone through as he maintained a positive outlook and transitioned into sharing his echolocation technique with others. His instructional approach often began with using a glass plate to demonstrate to his students how to navigate without relying on a cane or guide dog. The majority of his teaching efforts were channeled through his own organization, World Access for the Blind, an international educational non-governmental nonprofit. Its mission encompassed raising awareness about the capabilities of visually impaired individuals and offering both physical and psychological support. Within the blind community, opinions on Kish's method diverged. Some argued that his approach required a lengthy learning curve with minimal payoff and even potential risks. Conversely, a dedicated following of supporters expressed gratitude to Kish for his teachings. In 2015, he was invited to deliver a TED talk wherein he encouraged embracing darkness and the unknown, advocating a shift away from fear. Kish's influence extended to working with numerous blind children and young adults, who in turn became educators propagating the skill of echolocation. Originating with one man, this methodology has begun to proliferate and evolve, potentially emerging as a standard means of navigation for the visually impaired community. Currently, Daniel Kish is engaged in pioneering efforts to develop bat-like sound waves that could be discernible to blind individuals. The future resonates with promise for many within the visually impaired community, thanks to the impact of this real-life embodiment of Batman's ideals.